Hey traders, what's going on? Jamie Sedley here. It is June 8th, 2021, and I just wanted to go over a few things that we looked at last week. Just a quick review showing of what we are looking at, what I think is important right now. So, some of the highlights from last week's updates. We had actually, I started last week, I said we're looking at something a little different, and wood, which is the Global Timber and Forestry ETF. So we got a big reversal signal in the month of May. This is a monthly chart. All right, so recall that we did start a new month last week. And yeah, got that reversal last week, or last month, excuse me. And as you can see, we look back, we've had some pretty big reversals, um, triggered here over the last decade plus, 2011, 2018, and then May of 2021. We had a big buy back in 2011. Now, this is important from an FX standpoint, and just kind of a general inflation trade, so to speak, standpoint, because remember that lumber was one of the first commodities to take off and reach an all-time high in the early stages of COVID, right? So, does the monthly reversal indicate a temporary high, at least for the commodity inflation trade, and therefore dollar depreciation in general, right? For example, like here is wood overlaid with Kiwi dollar, okay? For the most part, the trends are fairly similar in terms of, general uptrend, downtrend. So that's something that we're thinking about closely or paying close attention to. Another thing that happened last week on a daily chart, we had British pound futures make a um, high volume reversal. Okay. Now that, as you can see, looking back, 5, 6 years on this chart, we've had some pretty good signals, right, in terms of temporary highs and lows. Some really big, some, still decent swing highs and lows. So this, right, and fast forward a week later, and you know, cable has come off and kind of ranged a little bit. So this is still very much in play. All right, so that is something we're paying attention to. So that would have been last Tuesday. If we look at some of the other updates from last week, this is one that actually seems to be coming to fruition right now. We talked about Bitcoin and all the consolidation since that panic low in May. Appears to be a fourth wave triangle in Elliott, and sure enough, Bitcoin is actually starting to break down right now. So right here was that chart from last week. If I were to pull up the updated version of it, you should be able to see quite clearly. Here we go. There we go. That was last week we were looking at that. And sure enough, we appear to be breaking down in that triangle. So, um, you know, the triangle could, the triangle break out to the downside, excuse me. I mean, you could get down close to 20,000. That might sound crazy, but certainly a possibility. And bottom line is we're going to print below that panic May low, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, this is playing out as well. Okay, so that was that. What else did we have to look at last week? Last week we had, well, this was right pre-NFP. Oh, this was a good one. This was one I got from the Daily Shot. It says Bitcoin is closely related to market sentiment. No kidding. We've been talking about this for months and months and months, probably over a year. Um, so yes, now that is apparently known. Copper is testing massive support. That is a key chart to watch as well. Here's the updated copper chart trying to hold up here. As you can see, that trend line all the way back to March of 2020. But if you get a break below that, that is a major behavior change, not just for copper, but maybe for the dollar, and again the inflation, so-called inflation trade in general. So yeah, these are just some of the charts that I want to highlight. that we are paying very close attention to. I should say also opportunities. Don't forget about that British pound chart. And that is it for the review for last week. Again, Jamie Setley here, signing off. Take care. Bye.